You guys heard about the game Vicious Circle? Yeah, of course you didn't. Vicious Circle is basically an uncooperative multiplayer shooter game created by RoosterTeeth, where you work together to kill a big chicken and escape. But you also have to kill the opposing players helping you, and if you die, you work for the chicken. Don't forget about the nuggets. You have to collect enough of those or else you won't be able to escape. If you're confused, I don't blame you. The game is exactly as confusing as it sounds. To make matters worse, it has very few maps, even fewer heroes, and voice acting only a mother could love. The UI is more cluttered than your desk on exam week. The art style is about as unique as Jaune Arc, and it's about 4 or 5 hours of playtime before you've exhausted everything the game has to offer. Don't get me wrong though, not really here to bash the game. I'm here to talk about why it failed. Of course, a game just genuinely not being that fun to anybody who doesn't have it out for chickens does contribute to it failing. It goes deeper than that. RoosterTeeth seems to have something against marketing. You know, that thing where you go out into the world and say, hey, here's this thing I made, you guys should totally get it. For whatever reason, it seems their MO is more, our product can speak for itself. Or it's more, we don't want to spend money on marketing. Either one works. RoosterTeeth seems to prefer marketing to their already existing fan base. Now look, this isn't inherently wrong. In business, it's cheaper to retain a customer than it is to acquire a new one, especially considering the amount of good faith RoosterTeeth has created over the years. On paper, it's a smart strategy to pursue. Sadly, marketing only to your existing fan base isn't such a smart idea, especially since they, barely marketed this one at all. Unlike Genlock, where they shoved that down our throats every episode of RWBY, Vicious Circle got a couple live streams and a late trailer. Now, I consider myself a relatively big RoosterTeeth fan, and I really had no idea about its existence for the longest time. This referral business RoosterTeeth clearly angled with Vicious Circle was never going to work when people had no idea there was a game to refer to their friends in the first place. Speaking of friends, this game is super ill-suited to play with if you don't have those. While I'm sure you all have good friends, the sad fact is that not every one of your friends want to play knockoff Overwatch. So if you're in that boat, the game really does just suck, full stop. It's almost like they made it for Achievement Hunter and didn't think there would be solo players in queue. Now, let's get to the facts. RoosterTeeth had literally given free copies to thousands of people who had first accounts to play this game. Anybody who had a first account got a code to play Vicious Circle for free. The fact that barely anyone wanted to play it despite it being free is telling. It goes back to the marketing strategy. Even if you have a strong core fan base, it doesn't automatically mean they'll all want your stuff, especially if you never really bothered to try selling it to them in the first place. This game isn't free to play. It's $20 US. It's not a cheap buy. To people who have no idea who RoosterTeeth are, dropping $20 on a generic-looking, unintuitive, confusing shooter game does not sound appealing. There was no free-to-play weekend to get people interested or trying this game out. It was just dropped immediately at $20 onto the Steam store. Now, of course, you don't have to always make a free-to-play weekend, but if your game looks as generic as Vicious Circle does, it probably wouldn't have hurt to get it to a wider fan base. This game literally peaked at 304 players. That is not a joke. This game was free to thousands of people, and only 304 went on at the same time. To put that into perspective, My Name is Mayo, curated as one of the worst games on Steam, and unlike RoosterTeeth, didn't have over 9 million subscribers to market their game to, peaked at 314 players. How is that even possible? How did it get more players on at the same time than Vicious Circle? Even if you say, oh, because it's so bad people wanted to play it, it is still embarrassing that Vicious Circle has only had so few players on it at the same time. RoosterTeeth have a scary trend of marketing their games, as in, they don't. You remember that RWBY deck builder game? You know, the game that came out in February where you collect cards and build your own RWBY deck. Of course you don't. Who does? That game is literally dead. Flopped. Nobody heard about it and almost nobody played it. Perhaps the RWBY knockoff of Bejeweled? Maybe you know that one? It's free to play, has a bunch of microtransactions, it's your generic mobile game. If you didn't, I don't blame you. It was basically one tweet, that's it. One tweet and they decided, well, that's our marketing campaign done. Go team. Grim Eclipse actually got marketed, so there's that. Trash on it all you want, but at least you know it exists. The point is, Vicious Circle is just another game in the long line of Rooster Teeth flops. The sheer desire they have to avoid marketing their games to a wider audience only works if the current audience is interested, and you can't be interested in something you barely know exists. Couple that with the fact that the game itself is both confusing and not entertaining for long periods of time in a genre where that's crucial, nor a fun experience at all on your own, and you've created a recipe for failure. I just hope they didn't crunch their workers for this one too. Thank you guys for watching. Not my usual type of analysis, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. I'm a big fan of Rooster Teeth, so I hope this video doesn't make you guys think I hate them and want to see them fail. If you guys like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Share it with your friends too if you want. Join my Discord if you want to hear more of my thoughts on these types of things, and make sure to follow me on Twitter for more content. Until next time though, I've been Myrkuri, and you've been great.